Welcome to Sandbox FOMO5 from Buro Happold. Each week we pick short snippets from our most recent episode for your listening pleasure. These quick listens could be valuable insights, thought-provoking elements, or even practical advice that will no doubt enrich your life and knowledge. Sandbox brings together curious individuals interested in a specific topic to discuss, dissect, and interrogate it. The style is conversational, with experts from Buro Happold and invited external guests who will add another angle to the narrative. Listeners are encouraged to gather around our podcast so that we can explore the latest advances in various fields and expand our collective horizons. Sometimes we'll tackle a subject head-on, sometimes a sideways view, but always with curiosity, expertise, and who knows, maybe even a dash of humour. Can you tell me how digital twinning can help with circular economy? And in fact, what is circular economy?
Yes, so if we look at circular economy and the concept of reusing assets after the life cycle of a thing, a building or a piece of machinery, we're looking at how many of those resources we can put back into the cycle and then recycle into further projects going forwards. But one of the key elements that's usually missing is the capture of data very early on to identify what sort of materials can be replenished at the end of the cycle in, say, 10 years' time, 20 years' time, 50 years' time. So under Engine and other gaming engines, what we can do is we can start to formalize a way of digitally representing those pieces of information from digital assets that are being represented in a digital twin.
That's amazing. So it's like a virtual representation of a library of materials, basically. Is that what you're describing there?
Yes, and there's many forms that could take. It could take into account the performance of an asset over time. It could be whether or not there's any particular wear, and that changes the status perhaps of whether or not it can be used as part of that circular economy process.
Now, Robert, you've been talking before about how digital twinning can also help with people-centric modelling. What is people-centric modelling and why is it a good thing?
One particular example would be during a planning application process where, as part of that process, you're meant to go out and obtain community feedback and to help assess the viability of the scheme. And traditionally, you'd put documents up onto a planning portal and residents and various members of the community can access that information and provide that feedback. Now, using a digital twin, you're able to actually put up the kind of virtual replica of the proposal and a number of different scenarios of how it might look in terms of shape, size, orientation, etc. And then you're able to gain feedback from that community or that virtual community on those various options. So you're able to kind of democratize that feedback a lot easier than you ever had before.
And when we think about how digital twins can help facilitate engagement, Miraj, would you like to tell us a little something about the Community Heat project in Barkham and how that facilitated discussion and indeed understanding amongst the residents of Barkham?
The Barkham project was actually a great example of digital twins, especially around the use for energy digital twins and that drive towards net zero that everyone is going for. So the idea behind it was that the digital twin was not only a virtual representation of the existing infrastructure, the idea was that we needed to find a suitable pathway for communities to get off of their current fuel sources and to switch to electricity in a renewable way that also helped them. So the idea behind it was to take a snapshot of the village as it was, build a digital twin off of that, and then run various energy scenarios, allowing for a targeted approach that benefit the community. And through that, we were able to get the community's input. So we would hold virtual workshops and in-person sessions where we could take them through the digital twin, the scenarios that were being explained, but go down to a household level, how much they would save, what the carbon saving would be, how it would help them from a point of view in terms of their heating. So the idea became that the community was part of the process in choosing their own future pathway to net zero. It would allow you to simulate that and then give key ideas of what a village or a home would be like in 10, 15, 20 years. And that was quite powerful.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that quick dip into our last episode of Sandbox. Don't forget to subscribe to follow the show. You'll find Sandbox in all the usual places, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Buro Happold's YouTube channel, and on the Buro Happold website. What's more, if you want to join the conversation on X, known as Twitter to his old friends, use the hashtag BHSandbox. We'd love to hear from you on any of the topics discussed.